Train by day, Kyle Wigginton podcast by night, all day.
Shout out to TMS Studios.
What is that?
It's Abby's spot.
Oh, TMS Studios is what they call it?
I think so.
I didn't know the name of it.
TMS.
ET DEAUX.
What's up, brother?
What's up, man?
Cheers.
Cheers to you, my friend.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday to you. It's a beautiful day outside, like you were saying. Gorgeous day.
Whoa, Naja bless, baby. It's a beautiful day, and you're a beautiful human.
Oh, he's talking about me, not you.
You're a beautiful human, yes.
So, ET DEAUX, how would you describe what you do? You produce music, right?
Yes. I can describe producing music, or I can describe what I do.
Describe you.
Describe me. In the shortest terms, I'm an artist. I always have the drive to create. It becomes, I learned about myself, and I learned that making art is what keeps me sane and keeps me moving forward and really allows me to enjoy my life. So I started off, to list the things that I do in order of what I would say I'm either best at or love doing. Producing music, writing songs, photography, videography, painting, live performing, DJing, dance. I'm not the best dancer, but I'm working on that, I like art. I like creativity, and I really love humans expressing their creativity. It's to me, it's the most special thing other than, giving birth, I would say, which is also the purest form of creativity, right? So yeah, I'm an artist that makes a lot of beats for people in town, and I really enjoy making music. I take a lot of really cool street photography. I enjoy film photography a lot. And I'm I am a Renaissance man.
I see that. So let me tell you why I wanted you to do that, because it's a very weird thing for me to start a podcast off with. I normally started off very conversational, but you are like me. You're very versatile in all the creativity that you do. So to like lock you down and say this guy does this would be impossible. Yeah,
it's funny because depending on what I'm doing at said event, people are like, "Oh, you're the photographer," and I'm like, "Yeah." "Oh, you're the producer," and I'm like, "Yeah." "Oh, you're the engineer," I'm like, "Yeah." Or you're the painter, and I'm like, "Yeah." I used to have like an identity crisis in a way of like, no, don't call me the photographer. I just have a camera, and I'm just taking pictures at this gig, and I'm just getting paid to do this, and I'm just really good at it. So eventually I was like, oh, you know what? I'm not just a rapper, because it really started off with rapping. Like I was like, yo, I'm a really great rapper. I found it was one of the things, other than sports, I've always been athletic, so sports have always come very natural to me. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm hunched. Let me pull this up. So I started rapping, playing around when we were like 13, 14. And I realized very quickly that I was a lot better at it than my peers. So I kind of kept doing it and finding more circles and getting into bigger circles and finding I was the best rapper in that circle, and then going into the next one. I'm like, man, I'm really good at this. So that's what started me on the path of art, because I was full on sports before that. I was 3 sports, basketball, baseball, football. I love soccer. Pretty much any sport I was into, table tennis, actual tennis, this pickleball thing I've never played. So I'm actually interested to like get up and play some pickleball eventually. But yeah, started off athletic, found out that I was really good at rapping, and then just kept finding out that all these different art forms I'm like really good at. So naturally it's in me. My mom's an artist. She's a very talented artist.
What's she do?
She's a visual artist, a painter and a drawer. She doesn't do that for a profession though. And my dad was a musician, and he doesn't do that for a profession. My dad's a contractor. He's really great with his hands and building things. And my mother, she does a lot. She was a woman, coming to her womanhood in the 80s and 90s. And in that time, there wasn't a lot of options for women to be creative. And do their art the way there is today. So she went into the corporate world and started doing work and da. So a part of me feels like I'm living out the artistic careers that my parents could have, you know, and they were always very supportive. Like my mom's very logical. So she was like, go to school, get an education, have a fallback plan. And my dad was very like, man, if you got the spirit and you're good at this, just do it. Like, but don't do it halfway. My dad always taught me, he's like, if you're going to do something, do it 100%. So those words clicked in my head. And just a little backstory, I was going to college for nursing because I love helping people. That's another thing that I'm very passionate about, is just giving and helping people. So I was going to school for nursing. And one day, man, it just hit me. I was like, I can't do this. Like, I can be a great nurse, but it would drain my soul. It would drain my spirit. And so that day I just, you know, decided, hey, I'm gonna just follow my heart. My heart keeps telling me to make music and make art. And that was a very interesting time in my life. And sometimes in life, you make big decisions that can alter the course of your life. And it was one of those decisions that it felt monumental, but then everything just aligned. Like, it was like I was walking through this dirty forest and getting hit by trees. And then when I took that right, it was like I saw a path. And I was like, oh, I could do that. I could actually go that way now, because as soon as I was like, I want to do art, and there's a long story that I won't elaborate on fully, but yeah, the universe just opened up and it was like, yep, you're going to go that way. You're going to go to Loyola. You're going to get a great education. You're going to meet good people. You're going to not pay a ton of money for this very expensive school, because I went to a Catholic high school in Metairie, and it's a part of the Archdiocese, and Loyola honored that and gave me a very good scholarship to go to school there, because it was part of their like keeping local type program, and then being involved with the Archdiocese. So yeah, quick backstory. I was going to school for nursing, decided to follow my art career, and here I am. 2023, that's 10 years ago is when I made that decision, 2013. So yeah, it's been interesting.
So it's all this that you're saying is pretty fucking crazy, because Frank and I were talking about him being drained. Yeah. From what he does, you know, EMS, paramedic. Shout
out Frank Marcelino.
Yeah. Frank Marcelino. But then he also said that he's been doing it now for about 10 years too.
Music, yeah.
And I also said that, yeah, I've been creating film and stuff for about 10 years as well.
Wow.
It's freaking nuts, dude.
And look, we're all
coming together, dude. It's nuts.
It's very interesting as I've grown into this process. As an artist, we're very in touch with the world and our existence as human beings. You know, we've had some very deep conversations that, you know, as artists, we think in a different way. And coming on to year 10 is when I kind of started to feel like, oh, I know the ropes and I'm like getting it. And I was had the privilege of going to this music conference last week, and Dougie Fresh was speaking, and he said something about, and it might not have been Dougie Fresh, it might have been one of the other speakers, but they said something about once you hit your 10-year mark, and you're like really good at this now, you know, like now I could literally make a beat with my eyes closed. I could write a song with ease, all that, right? He was like, after that, it takes up another 3 to 10 years to get actual money from it. And then, so I was like, oh, okay. So now that I'm at the point of like being very good at it, now the real work of networking and putting yourself out there is when you really, I think this is when, as an artist, you really should start making those type of moves. Even though we're kind of practicing all the time throughout those 10 years of doing it, we're talking to these people and networking and doing all that. That's kind of practice for what I feel like the phase that I'm in now, where it's like, I don't feel insecure at all about my art anymore. Like, I can walk into a room and confidently say, I can make some really great art, and I can show you, like, I can make some really great art. So yeah. I think that's when your opportunities start, you know, flowing a little bit more. And
it's like the initial 10 years are for the skill building.
Right.
And then the next 10 years are for the networking, because you have the skills now. And then after that, you really start making some money.
Yeah. And it's a long haul. You know, anyone who's interested in the arts or has been a part of it knows, like, it's a long game.
It's a grind.
Yeah. And those who, you know, I have acquaintances, excuse me. I have acquaintances that got popular at a very young age, or, you know, started making moves when they weren't ready, and it shows now. Like, there's people that I know that were on top of the world 6 years ago that aren't even doing it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And because I don't think they were, I don't know, you got to really be built for it, you know? And I think I'm very built for it because I have a lot of patience. I have vision. I often think steps ahead, and I look at myself as like I look at my life as a timeline.
Yeah.
And so like I'm 33 now, and I realized, hey, you know, I'm still very young and capable of doing a lot of things. And then that also, when I hit 30 is when the pandemic hit. So I was like, oh, you know what? I want to be a healthy 60-year-old, because I wasn't very worried about COVID. I got COVID very early, before they even announced that it was in the States, because we have Mardi Gras down here, and that was fun. And it was a bitch. I'm not gonna lie. COVID definitely was a motherfucker. But I wasn't so worried because of my nursing background. I knew a lot about I know a lot about the body, our systems. I know a lot about viruses and virology and vaccines and all that. And so I wasn't very worried when I realized that the death tolls that were happening during COVID was morbidly obese people, very old people, people who could die from the flu or could die from, you know, an asthma attack. Those people were the ones that were dying initially.
Unhealthy people.
Yes. Yeah. And so for me, I was like, okay, I'm not too worried about this. But I did think about, hey, I want to be a very healthy 60-year-old. So I got back into my grind of working out. I started to ground myself back into the athletic side of me, you know. And one day I was playing basketball, and I was playing pickup with these kids, and I hadn't played ball in, I don't know, 6 years. And I was still cooking them. And I was like, man, I need to get back into, you know, get my body the way I've been getting my mind, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been the 30s for me.
I mean, those two are greatly connected, the body and the mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you were actually mentioning magnesium when you came in.
Yeah.
Like, what were you saying about that? Because I do work out. I don't know if you can tell, but I work out a little bit. But I don't take any other supplements. I probably should take some, right?
Definitely. As we speak. Yeah. So I walked in and I'm sore from my workout yesterday. I went pretty hard, but I'm not as sore as one would be without the right supplements. With my nursing background, one of the things when I went to nursing school that was mind blowing was the amount of things that should be common knowledge that aren't. So like eating for your body type, eating for your blood type, knowing your genetic history is very important on what medications work for you, and what, you know, why some people can only drink a beer and get sloshed, and other people can drink a bottle of whiskey and have no problems. I learned all these different things. And one of the main things I learned, because at that time I was still very athletic, even though I was artistic, was the processes of the body and the ways certain, you know, supplements work in your body. And I vouch for magnesium heavy. So like, let's say you're sore, you're going to be like, oh, I want to take an Epsom salt bath, right? Well, that's because it's full of magnesium, and your body takes the magnesium in through your skin, which is your biggest organ and one of your most vital organs. And magnesium, long story short, soreness in your muscles is a buildup of lactic acid. So if you look at the camera, if you look at your muscles, the way that this does that is because there's little tiny muscles inside of your muscles that do that, right? Mm-hmm. They contract. And when they contract, all of them contract, and that's how you contract. They can get stronger, whatever, blah, blah, blah. That's how you get stronger. But long story short, they have to release, and they need potassium to release. So when you get a cramp and it's just like, and you're like, oh my God, you need potassium to release that cramp. But lactic acid counteracts potassium, and lactic acid builds up on the muscles, which is what makes your muscles sore. And magnesium it does a lot of things, but one thing it specifically does is it gets rid of lactic acid in your body. So when I was in high school and working out like a beast, I was taking supplements and stuff, and I didn't know. And then when I got into college and learned that, I started like incorporating magnesium vitamins into my diet. And dude, I'm telling you, I could go do, let's see, at that time I was doing like 300 bench press. I was doing maybe 15 times, pushing. I was hurting.
A lot of weight.
Yeah, I was in there. I'm deceptively strong, or maybe not so deceptively. Maybe I just don't have the best self-image of myself sometimes, and I don't realize how strong I look. But yeah, I started taking the magnesium, and yeah, dude, I don't even get sore like that. And so I haven't been on my supplement game recently, and I've been going through a lot of things in my life outside of work. So I just really hadn't had the time to work out. And I went the other day, and because I knew I was going to go hard yesterday, like 3 days before, I started taking my magnesium, taking it, started working out a little bit. And then yesterday I just pushed it just to like get my body back up and be like, hey, bro, we doing this again. Like, get back to it, And yeah, I'm just a little sore. My back, I don't think the magnesium made it all the way to my back. So
I need to get on some magnesium.
Definitely.
What else do I need to get on?
Well, I'm not a nutritionist, so I can't tell you everything, but
that's just one that you know.
That's one that I specifically know. Obviously, vitamin D is very important. Shout out to segue. Yeah, to segue that. Vitamin D is a single that I released during COVID.
Oh yeah.
Because I, with the knowledge of what I know from nursing, I was just like, yo, a lot of people are being told to go take vaccines right now. And that's scary to me because we don't have enough research. And no, whatever anyone on the other side says, like the facts remain, we did not have enough research at the time to be just blindly shooting this into people's bodies, right? And so for me, I'm holistic and natural first and preventative first. And then, man, if you need real medication, some people really need it, right? And vaccines are very important. They have very beautiful vaccines. And long story short, I was just like, yo, I don't like how everyone's scared. I don't like how no one with real knowledge is speaking up because they were scared.
They're scared they're going to get fired or something.
Fuck yeah, dude. During the pandemic, I was scared to tell people that I'm not vaccinated. I was like, yo, when people would ask, I just would either try to divert the conversation, or if I was in that mode, then I'd be like, no, I'm not vaccinated and this is why. And I'm not going to tell you what to do with your body, so don't tell me what to do with my body.
That was my issue. My issue was the forcing of vaccines.
Yeah, like, horrible.
If you want to take it, if you want to put whatever you want to in your body, go for it. But don't try to force me to put something in my body.
Right.
Like there's a reason that I look like this. I go to the gym and work out because I want to stay healthy, like you were talking about. And I stay healthy because I don't want to have to put these things in my body.
Yeah. And modern medicine's a beautiful thing. It's the reason why we have 80-year-olds that are out here still running. And why our generation, even though our life expectancies have started to drop, that's being figured out as we speak. Today is October 29th, 2023. I'd put good money on it that October 29th, 2028 will be a different ecosystem, different economic system, a different way of thinking as humans, because we're going to be so much more advanced past this very greedy industrial capitalist technology society.
That is the most optimistic view I've ever heard, especially with what's going on in the world today.
Yeah,
it's getting fucking scary out there, ET.
Fucking wild right now. I think, and I don't want to speak on things that I don't know, but I will say that I believe in humanity. I believe in humans. I think we've been around for a very long time. It is possible that we could destroy ourselves. And it's also possible that we can move into a beautiful, brighter future. And I think the more, the negative voices, the propagandist voices, the people who, run the world, their voices are louder. So they're the ones in the back of the room yelling, but it's just one person in a room of 500 that's yelling all this negative stuff, but their voice just happens to be the loudest. One thing I've noticed with humans and humanity in my life is black, white, yellow, orange, Republican, Democrat, whatever, you have about you that is like your identity, we all have the same commonalities at the end of the day. And when it comes down to it, there's 100 times more good people on earth than there is bad people. We're just living in a time where bad people have garnered power, and they know what they're doing is wrong. You know, and if they don't, then they're psychopathic, and we should get them out of their positions anyway. But I do believe that 2020 was very important. It was a turning point. You know, I think 2020 you can look at as almost similar to the time when the print press was invented. Like, except it's a monumental shift in the universe. Like we moved in 2020 into the age of Aquarius, and the age of Aquarius is the age of truth. And the age of Aquarius, ages last 2,000 plus years. We're year 3 into a 2,000 plus year cycle, right? And it's the age of truth. You know, we have an abundance of truth right here, right? We also have an abundance of lies, which is very interesting. And I think in today's day, the world that we live in right now, the people that have been in power they're not dumb. That's why they are in power. They see their control. They see themselves losing control over the population. They're trying to do every little thing to stay
Power grasp.
Yeah, to stay on top. And if you're listening and you're a billionaire and you're one of those people, like the way to stay on top is to just listen to the people. We'll tell you what we want. You don't have to. Capitalism is cool, whatever. You can make your $1 billion. I don't care, but notice what the people want, because then you can stay in power, because 99% of us don't want to be a powerful person. Like we don't want, if you want $1 billion, I worry about you.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, there's so much more to life. Like, you know, you should want love and happiness and good friends.
Well, there was a therapist that I was talking to a while back, and that she was basically saying that wanting that much money is a mental illness.
It has to be.
Yeah, because it's basically hoarding.
Yeah.
It's a form of hoarding. You're just hoarding dollars instead of hoarding
dollars and resources.
Yeah. So it's a mental illness. It's just we live in a world where those kind of people can achieve power.
Mm-hmm.
That's rewarded.
It's interesting because you have to ask yourself, well, you know, I've asked this question 1,000,000 times in my life. Like, how? Why? And for example, how do they continue to get away with this? Like, if we all know that and it's divisiveness, they have tactics that I don't even want. I should probably learn about their tactics so that I could use it against them. And that's probably what I'll be doing until I'm 50, you know? Maybe one day run for mayor of New Orleans. You know, my last name's Thibodeaux. I feel like I'd be a shoo-in.
Yeah.
But who knows by then? It could be so gentrified. I don't know. And let's, you know, we can talk about that too at some point. I want to talk about being from New Orleans and what that means to me.
Aren't you out of time?
Are we?
And I don't know. Like you looked at the watch.
It's only one.
Yeah, we were supposed to start at 1. Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm learning military time. So my watch, it says 12:58, and I'm like, what does 12:58 mean? Because I thought it was on military time. So it should switch to 13 in a minute. Life hack. You want a good life hack? Something that I learned about the rich people that was another thing that I was like, whoa, profound.
Yeah, military time?
Oh, not even. Set your watch 5 to 10 minutes early. You will always be ahead of everyone else. The elites.
Oh, I hate that fucking word.
Yeah, I know. Me too. But it's one way of blanketing them.
Yeah, blanketing them.
They literally are on a different time than the rest of humanity. Like they live 5 to 10 minutes ahead, maybe even longer, you know? So I learned that from somebody who's a billionaire. And when I heard it was profound. So now my phone keeps its time, so it's always going to be on the correct time. But my watches are always 5 to 10 minutes ahead.
Yeah,
and because of that, I'm not late anymore.
Yeah,
I was on time today. I was early.
Yeah,
I very often had a problem of being late in my life. See, there it is. Oh, and it says 13.
Yeah. There. What's the military time thing for though?
I plan on being a world traveler, and I plan on one of the main reasons why I became an artist was to travel the world. Like I didn't coming from where I come from in the situations that I'm
Are you from New Orleans?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Born and raised. Actually born in Metairie, let's be honest. But my whole entire family and family history in America is in New Orleans for 5-6 generations. My parents decided in the 90s to move to Metairie because it was a wild ass time. So yeah, I grew up back and forth mostly. But my grandma's house was in Gentilly and I spent a lot of time there. My dad's side of my family is all from the Treme. My mom's side's all from St. Roch. So yeah, and then my mom's a Bucktown. She's a Bucktown all-star.
I don't know what that is.
You don't know what Bucktown is? Bucktown is, you know where Lakeview is?
Yeah.
Right when you cross over the 17th Street Canal in the deep back of Lakewood, Lakeview by the lake, you cross over the 17th Street Canal into Metairie, and that's Bucktown.
Okay.
So like a lot of people in Metairie, and even today, like so many of actual New Orleans culture and culture bearers don't live in the city anymore because it's just very expensive and it's not, artists aren't getting paid what they usually get paid. And, you have a few cultural sellouts that like become the spokesperson for said culture and they get all the opportunities and don't give any opportunities to anyone else. And so it's been very interesting. And I don't know why, but I've always had this deep understanding of I need to preserve my culture, and be a part of my city that I grew up loving so much, and still love to this day, man. The moment I could, I moved back into the city. As soon as I was old enough to live and get out of my parents' house, I moved right back into the city. It's
a dope city, man. I don't come from a place like this. I come from a very small town in Arkansas.
Yeah.
So when I moved down here, it was culture shock, big time.
I bet.
But it was also a very unique opportunity to learn about people because this city has so many different types of people coming through because it's tourist. Mm-hmm. And it also has just so many unique types of people living here. So It's been a learning opportunity being down here.
Yeah, I think that's part of what makes our friendly culture. Like New Orleans people are always so friendly and they want to talk to you and say hi. I think that comes from having tourism be a big thing where we're always constantly seeing new people, but it's also like in New Orleans, we grew up knowing that we are together. Mm-hmm. And, if you need something, I got you, and vice versa. If I need something, I'm going to come to you. And that's the way the culture has always been. And even with I also don't like the term gentrification because I think that's kind of a negative connotation.
Yeah.
Cities need to evolve. And a city like New Orleans that's pretty fucking corrupt, the government's not investing this money. So what do? They swindle people into come buy this house in New Orleans. You want to. You want to live here. You want to come in second line with us, right? Mm-hmm. That's the government. The government and the Board of Tourism, they do that shit on purpose because they're not putting the money into the city. So they call people in to buy these houses and they fuck them over. Like there's plenty of people in the city that are not from here that may own like 4 properties. And they losing money. But what did they do? They spent their money to make those properties better, nicer, look good, revamped. And then eventually they're going to have to sell them at a loss. And that's like a revolving thing. So, anyone who's looking to move to New Orleans and you're thinking, oh, I got money, so I'm going to go in and invest and I'm going to do this. You're getting swindled. Like it's a hustle. And it's unfortunate because it only benefits like the city, and the city doesn't do anything to benefit those people back, nor does it do anything to pull their cultural bearers back. You know how many people I know that live in Slidell right now that are from here?
So their properties got bought here and then they moved to Slidell?
Yeah, a lot of people moved either to Metairie, the West Bank, or New Orleans East. And then New Orleans East just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And that's another deeper topic, but there's a lot of redlining and there's a lot of political bullshit that goes on that defunds New Orleans East. And New Orleans East is not just black people. Like a lot of people like to say, oh, it's just the black people. When I was growing up in New Orleans, it was 80% black people. This is a black city, So it's not, they don't just push people out just because of their race. But long story short, a lot of people that moved to the East were like, man, this shit going crazy. So they just moved even further and they went across the water to Slidell. Slidell, growing up, it's like you going to Slidell was like, are you kidding me? That's like going to Egypt. Like, you know, like what?
It's a long drive out there too.
Damn, man, it's 35 minutes, bro. It ain't shit.
It's a long drive for me anyway.
When you come from a small town, so I'd assume that y'all didn't drive a lot there.
Well, no, I do, man. Everything in Arkansas is like spaced out.
So you get it.
Yeah, that's why I said it's a long drive. So if we want to go to the grocery store, we have to drive 30 minutes to go to the grocery store.
Yeah, exactly. In New Orleans, if you want to go to the grocery store, you walk outside your house and go down the block.
I fucking love it, dude.
Yeah.
I love just because I live right down the street. I love driving here to work and then driving to or walking to the grocery store.
Right.
It's the best thing ever.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that when I first started traveling up to New York that I really enjoyed. I was like, oh, you know, I kind of feel at home in New York because, you know, one, being from the city, like I know how to deal with city people, but two, just like the access to things is like corner store right there. There's bodegas everywhere, right? We're on Ferret. I mean, Ferret's been through a lot of different things, but there's one corner store, a grocery, you know, boom. And then if you go a mile out to in any direction, if you go a mile, there's another corner store, another grocery, another something, right? So it's beautiful to like have that. And when I go to rural places, bro, I'm like, it reminds me like, yo, I'm such a city kid because I was just visiting my good friend up in Michigan. And he lives in Ypsilanti, which is about an hour out of Detroit. Mm-hmm. And long story short, he's out in the country, in the woods, man. It's beautiful, 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 like serene environment to be in. It was a great retreat for me. But day two, I was like, hey, bro, I'm going to go to the store and get a drink. And he's like, bro, the closest store is like 25, 30 minutes. He's like, it'll take us an hour and a half for you to go get a juice. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, so I started like, I really wanted to get out the house. Yeah. So I was like, all right, well, like we can go get some weed. We can go get a bunch of other stuff too. Like I was getting stir crazy. And it's just like, yo, I'm a city. I like being in cities, you know?
No, it's nice to like wake up. Cause I am up at weird hours, man. And this is the artist in me. Like I create late at night. So sometimes when it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, I need something to eat. Yeah. Like, I can go get food. Yeah. There's like food open and stuff. Yeah. It's great. You live in a city that's open like 24 hours, man. It's great. Yeah. Or if I ever want to get a drink, like some bars are open 24 hours.
Oh yeah. Easy. You know, and you're right. As for artists, and I think another reason, you know, we do have a party and drinking culture, but another reason why is we also have a lot of hospitals in this city, and we have a really good healthcare structure. What's the word that I'm looking for? Healthcare, whatever. We have good healthcare. We have a lot of hospitals, a lot of people that work overnight or work overnight. So like they'll be on their lunch break at 1 a.m. and they need something to eat, you know? And so it's really great to have those spots. Like shout out Cleo's. I know I be giving my man.
Oh, dude, I fucking love Cleo's.
Oh, me too, bro. I be giving my man a hard time though. I love him, but
that's some of the greatest food in the city right there, in my opinion. When I used to work in the French Quarter, I would walk over there all the fucking time.
It's a gem too. It's kind of a hidden gem because you talk to people about Cleo's and they'll be like, "What? What's Cleo's?" You talking about that weird Mediterranean place on Canal? I'm like, bitch, 3 a.m. You want some good food? You don't want no trash McDonald's, you know, bar fried, because everything in a bar is fried, right? So you don't want, if you want something that's healthy and good for you at 3 a.m., go to Cleo's, bro. Get you a chicken shawarma plate, get you a combo plate, some hummus, like, and it's fire.
So good. So good.
Fire. Shout out Cleo's.
The first time I ever met you, ET, I think you were rapping the first time I ever met you, which your music's great. Loved it. I even like we see artists in here all the time performing, and it's very rare that like I hear one performing and I'm like, hang on a second. And I had to like stop me in my tracks and I had to like listen to it. I think I even came up to you that night and said like, your song's really great. But yeah, whatever song you performed the first time, I remember it like stopped me in my tracks. And then I had a conversation with you, and you're a very deep soul, man. Like, where did that come from? Because I mean, even the style, like, look at this. You have your dope necklace. You have the The eye on the
ET logo.
Yeah. Oh, is that your logo?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's dope, dude.
Yeah, this is my logo. I wear a lot of custom clothing.
As you should, as an artist.
The question was,
how did you become so deep?
I'm sorry, I'm laughing because I'm laughing through the pain.
Which that normally happens, right? You have to go through the pain to get to that deep level.
So this is, we've talked off camera very deeply, right? And I don't want to expose some of the things we said, but I think we both can agree that there's a source or an energy about each human being that is like deeper than just here, now, this time and place, this physical motion. Like, so the depth in me really makes me feel, as I get older, I feel like a bodhisattva in a way, where it's like I've been here plenty of times, and I've came to this realm so many times that I decided to come back as a teacher of sorts. I think that's like a spiritual way of explaining it, is like I've lived many lives and I'm here experiencing this life. I used to joke around and tell people like, this is my last life. Like I'm a dip after this. When I was young and early into my spirituality and learning, I was raised Catholic. We're in New Orleans, Catholic city. And when I started exploring spirituality and other religions, it was when I started to have deeper thoughts. Like Catholics, I think, believe in reincarnation. I can't remember, but yeah, long story short, I feel like I've been here before. And then I've also been blessed with a really great mind. So like I have a very powerful brain and it's just always on go. So I think I'm thinking a lot about a lot of things, and that allows me to fill the void of non-thought in a way. I think I envy sometimes people who can just go about their day and like not see great meaning in every little thing. Like for example, I pulled up and the garbage cans were in the street and I was like, oh, look, the universe was blocking a spot for me, Like, how many people don't think that way? They're just like, garbage cans in the way. I'm going to go about my day and I'm going to be this person and do this and do that. And I think I've just been able to dive into myself a lot. And then the real, those are all qualities of me. The outside factors is when I became like of age, I started experimenting with hallucinogenics, and my first acid trip was like a mind-blowing experience, and but I didn't so much feel like I'm a spiritual god until I did DMT. And when I did DMT and like blasted, I was like, oh, none of this is real.
What happened?
I won't tell too much, but long story short, because I will be putting that out on YouTube, so I'm not going to tell everything here. But long story short, I just snapped into another reality. Like when you blast off on DMT is when you basically black out in this world and you go into another existence. And like, watch, touch my hand. It's that real. Like it's that real. Like I'm interacting. It's as real as this. Yeah. It's just as real as this. I can touch things. I can walk around. I'm cognitive. I'm interacting. I can feel things. Like you have senses, right? So I, went into this whole other realm, had some profound experiences over there, and then snapped back. And when I was back in this world, I was like, oh shit, what the fuck? I'm like, yo, none of this is real, because if that was as real as it felt, then that means this could be the same fucking thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
So like, why'd you come back?
I don't know.
What keeps you going?
Art.
So if
art and love, man.
Was that one better than this one?
It was different. I wouldn't say better. I think comparison is the thief of joy, right? Who's that? Mark Twain? I don't like to compare things. It's natural for us to do it, and I do it in a scientific and inquisitive way, but I don't like to compare things, especially of value, like better or not. It was different. And I will say I went to what I think is the star Sirius, the dog star, because after, long story short, the place that I went to, everything was gold. Everything. The grass was gold. The pathway that I was walking was gold. The pathway turned into a bridge that went over a big body of water. The water was liquid gold. everything was gold.
Mm.
And I was like, yo, this place is fucking tight. You know? And I thought like a part of me, because you're still conscious and you still, the thing is like me stayed the same. Not Evan, not this body, but that conscious me thing, the id, right?
Yeah.
The me was still me. And I was like, oh, yeah, look. And I knew what I had to do. And I was like, man, all right, I'm going to do this. And I'm going to cross this water. I'm going to do it. And so.
Did you look down at your body?
No, none of the, it's funny, like none of my DMT trips, I've blasted off maybe 10, 12 times. None of them were I like my body. So maybe the next time I go into that realm, I will.
But you're always at the same place too.
No, I have gone back to the same place twice. And that was profound because I was like, hold up. That was another thing where I went to this place, the all gold place. Whatever, I come back into this world, I start like, I don't know, just Googling like, man, what all gold planet or something like that. And then you start to realize like they have myths about the Sirius dog star and they say it's all made of gold.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. So I was like, damn, did I fucking teleport up to the dog star? And anyways, yeah, I've gone back to that place twice because the first time, long story short, I didn't complete my mission. And it was foul because the way that I was ripped out of that trip was like, it was like a violent, like you are out of this trip and you're back here, right? Whereas my other DMT trips were very gradual. Ooh, okay, I'm back, But this one was like, long story, bro, I keep saying long story short. I was choking myself in this realm. I was actually stuffing my thumbs down my throat. And in that world that I was experiencing through DMT, I had gotten wrapped up by Medusa and her snakes were going down my throat. And in that dream, I was like, I have to bite the heads off the snakes. Like I just knew that's what I got to do. So my homie, thank God, if you're ever going to experiment with hallucinogenics as strong as DMT, make sure you have someone next to you that is not doing it so that they can wake you up if you need. Because I was choking myself and my homie like abruptly woke me up and I woke up with my thumbs in my mouth and I was biting down hard. So the sensation of biting my thumbs off in this reality
was biting the heads off the snakes.
Yes.
That's fucking wild.
That's a whole quantum thing too. Like, if I drank this beer in this life, is there another version of me in a whole nother quantum realm that's drinking a beer too? Yeah. And on a podcast as well, just in a different form, right? Is the experience the same, but the circumstance is different type thing, right? So yeah, that was a wild one. And that's where the ET logo comes from too, because this is actually me in another realm. So another DMT trip that I went on, I wake up. And I can tell this one fully because I've told so many people. I wake up, I hit the DMT in this world. I'm like, let's go. Go to sleep, wake up. And I'm like, bam. And I'm floating. Everything's floating. And I'm like in this sky world where it's just islands of trees, like floating. So like imagine a tree and then it has its roots and that makes up an island, right? And it's just floating. Everything's just floating up, right? Nice and slow. Boom, 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 boom. And then this dude comes here and he's like, yo, what are you doing here? And I'm like, whoa. I was like, where am I? He's like, and at this point I've been experienced with DMT. So I would go into these trips just open, like I'm reading a book, like, oh shit, I know I'm not back on Earth. Like, whoa, what's going on? It's like lucid dreaming, right? Mm-hmm. Dude flies up. He's like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, I don't know. Where am I? He's like, bro, you're in the realm of positivity. He's like, you don't know what you're doing, huh? And I was like, no, I don't have no clue what I'm doing. He's like, you're from Earth. And I was like, yeah. He's like, man, I fucking love Earth, bro. Earth is cool, man. He's like, I really want to go. I want to go to that realm. And I'm like, why? And he's like, oh, because this is the realm of positivity. So it's only positive energy. So everything's moving up slowly. Everyone's happy. There's only positive energy in this realm.
Could get boring after a while.
I would assume, right? I mean, from our perspective, for sure. From his perspective, he seemed fine, but he was like, yo, I really want to go back to Earth. And he's like, you can bring me. And I was like, how? And he's like, because you're me. He said, I'm you in this realm. He said, you're me and on earth. He's like, you can bring me back. And I was like, why do you want to go back? He's like, I want to experience music and art and sadness. And like, he's like, because the realm you live in has these 3 dimensions and has duality, y'all get to create art and live these full experiential lives. Whereas in the realm of positivity, everything's just happy, smiley, flowers, trees, and everything's just moving up always. So I was like, whoa, okay. Well, yeah, I'll bring you around. Like, I was like, show me around here and I'll bring you back. So he was just showing me. I met other people in that realm. I was like, he was telling me about the trees. And then I remember like him explaining all these things to me. And I'm like, this is just a bunch of bullshit. Like, this is just like the bullshit that I know about Earth. Like the random facts, like we live on Earth. This is grass, da, da, da. You know, the things that we're told, he was just spitting those things to me in another realm. So I think it was like, even though it was me and him, we were together, there was like the singular oneness of everything that was telling me like, yeah, you see, you think it's just the Earth, but every realm has their own set of rules and guidelines, da, da, da. So anyways, I wake up from the trip and I had a notepad that I was writing my rhymes in and a pen, and I had drew his face. I drew this on a pad while I was knocked out doing that, right? And my friend was like, yo, it's my friend who used to like not guide me, but like be like my, off button if I needed.
Yeah.
He's like, after like it's probably 4th or 5th. This was probably my 5th or 6th trip. He was like, yo, man, just like watching you go into those realms is fascinating. He's like, so you do things in this realm. He's like, you say things, you get up, you'll move around. And he's like the first time you fucking choked yourself. He's like, this time you fucking woke up, you were drawn. He's like, you literally got up, grabbed the pen, grabbed the paper, sat back down and drew that shit. And he said your eyes were closed the whole fucking time. And I'm like, damn, for real? I was like, you should have filmed that shit, dog. The fuck? So
have
yeah.
you ever filmed one of those?
No. This was this was still very early camera phone days and shit. So like the quality would have been weird, and I don't know.
You haven't done it as you've gotten older then? You're younger?
I haven't. I think the last time I blasted off on DMT, I was probably 22.
Oh, that was young.
Yeah, it's been over 10 years.
What a dope fucking story though. Like this is, because this is technically you bringing him back.
Yeah.
Like now you've introduced this into this world.
Yeah. And it's crazy because people can't, every time I show someone this logo is what I call it, they smile.
Yeah.
They can't help but smile. And I'm like, yo, you really be bringing positivity into this world, man. So that's,
you really do, man. You're like a ball of positivity.
Yeah.
I don't know what you would be like angry. I'm actually scared to ever see that.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure it would be very bad.
Yeah. Those who have seen me angry can attest. It's not good.
Yeah. Most of the people that are like 100% positive all the time, if they get angry, it's bad.
Yeah. I have the wrath of the universe on my side.
Yeah.
So, when I get angry, karma is like one of my guns.
The universe moves for you, yeah.
Yeah. And it's because I'm a just person. I believe even though there's people fucking this world up with their greed and all that shit, I still believe in trying to be the best person that I can be. And the way that I manifest that a lot of the times is by being nice and loving to people, because I love people. I'm constantly in a feedback loop with everyone. We all are. And so I'm very positive and loving to people, and it comes back to me, and therefore when I am down, I'm sad, or, things are happening and it's not going my way. Like there's always an abundance of people there to help me, like I'm going through this situation right now with a previous landlord that's been going bananas, but the amount of people, and I wasn't even blowing it up on it. I didn't say nothing about it publicly, but the few people that I did talk to about it, every single person was like, oh, I got a lawyer. I know this person. I could do this. And it was just like anything I needed was there. And those ex-landlords are going to find out about my anger in the nicest way possible, because I used to be a very violent person too. So we talked a lot about, Shiva and Krishna, and I think we have duality in all of us. And when I was younger and a not happy person, I was very destructive and very violent. I got in plenty fights. When I was in senior in high school, I'd come to Tux right here just to fight people. Like, cause I knew, I'm like, man, there's gonna be some fucking Tulane kids over there. I'm about to go fuck them up. I'm about to go find somebody who's not from here.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna take my fucking anger out, you know? Cause this is after Katrina. This is early gentrification. This is like early thoughts of I'm losing my city to these people. So I would come to Tux.
I've heard about Tux,
bro,
yeah.
and I'd fuck people up. Tux. And then the other spot that I'd hit is the little corner that has Bruno's, and I forget what the other bars were called, but Bruno's is still there.
Yeah, Bruno's still there.
That little corner that has 4 bars never failed. I'd go there just looking for shit.
Yeah.
Just fuck people up. And, you know, being naturally athletic, I trained a little bit in boxing and da-da-da-da-da. So I was very capable of holding my own. And I've always, even in those moments though, I still felt like a just villain. Like, you know how they have like super villains that are horrible people, but then they have like they have the dooms that are like villains that are misunderstood. They're just trying to do good for their people, but they're still the villain. I was kind of like that villain where I wouldn't just fight random people. I would look like, who's the biggest asshole in this room? You know what I'm saying? And then I would just chill. I'd be having fun with friends and shit, but it would never fail. Some dude would be like, ooh, start mouthing off or something, and then like it wouldn't even be my drama, it wouldn't even be my beef, but I'd look across the room like, yeah, that's what I'm about to go fuck up right now. You know what I'm saying? Go walk up, talk to him, say, bro, what's up? You got a problem? And never failed. They mouthing off, and I'm like, I bet. Pow.
What took you out of that mindset and brought you into this one?
Acid.
Okay. Psychedelics, man. They changed my life too. Yeah, I was a very angry person until I took mushrooms for the first time.
Yeah. I'm a huge believer in the power of mushrooms. The short answer is acid. Yeah, I started tripping and realizing that I was responsible for my own happiness, and my unhappiness wasn't due to other people. My unhappiness was because I was allowing other people to dictate who I was and what I do, and you know, and it just it was a switch that flipped, man. And after that, I just became so loving. Like it was the combination of that and the last serious fight that I got in. Like I was scared that I like killed somebody. You know, I had knocked somebody out and he fell and hit his head on the curb, and I was like, oh fuck, did I just kill somebody? And that was like, and he was fine, thankfully. But it was that in the culmination of like taking hallucinogens that I was like, yo, what am I doing? Like I'm hurting people. Like, why I'm hurting people because I'm hurt, you know? And that's really what it was. And so I woke up and was like, yep, I'm not gonna do that anymore. And now even to this day, like I'll be kind of close to getting into a fight with somebody and I'll be like, I don't want to hurt you. Yeah. Or if I feel like I'm either going to feel like I'm going to hurt you, I don't want to do that. Or you're an even match and I'm like, fuck, I don't want to do that. Or you're going to fuck me up. So it's like.
Well, you never know these days too with MMA and stuff.
Yeah, for real.
People are crazy, dude.
You got little dudes that you think can't fight for shit that will wrap you up, son.
There was an issue on the street. Cause I fought a lot when I was in college and stuff.
Saw that.
You saw the video?
Saw the footage.
Yeah, dude. I was trying to calm the guy down. Yeah. So, the Fret stop, they were getting into it down there, and I was down here at the bar. So I walked down the street because I'm not gonna let those guys get anything happen to them.
It's a family.
Yeah. So I walked down the street, and I tell the guys to go back inside, and I'm trying to calm the guy down.
Yeah, clearly in the video. Yeah, I saw the video, by the way.
Yeah, it's a video of a guy getting knocked out. And a guy from across the street came over to also help out. Yeah. And then he saw that I couldn't calm the guy down. He was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And I was like, okay. So I walk off because I'm assuming that the guy's he's gonna try to calm him down too. No, the dude just kept walking towards him. He just knocked him out cold.
The guy who punched was not the drunk guy.
No, the guy who punched was a sober guy that came
trying to calm shit down. Oh yeah.
I don't think he was actually. I think he wanted to hit the guy.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, he just came across the street because he
don't hit people unless you really want.
Well, he knew that I didn't want to because he saw me trying to calm the guy down for like 5 minutes before he came across the street.
Bitch, you ain't not trying to catch a case. You own a bar.
Yeah, bro. I was like, I don't want to like hurt anybody. Yeah. But anyway, he came across the street and he took care of business. Yeah. And then he just walked away, and I leaned inside and I told the guys like, yo, call the cops. We don't want this guy to die on the sidewalk in front of us. And the cops, of course, it's New Orleans. It took him 30 minutes to get here. The guy woke up and walked off before the cops got here, but he didn't stay gone. He came back later in the night.
And still drunk.
Still drunk. Yeah. And the guy,
and concussed at this point.
Dude, his face was fucked up. I felt so sorry for him because he was trying to, at that point, he tried to come in the bar.
Oh no.
And I was like, dude, now you're making it my problem. I was like, you can't come. He had blood like running down his face and stuff. I was like, bro, you need to go home.
You got to go, bro.
Yeah, take your ass home. We had to call the cops on him again, get the cops down here. The cops finally came, and the cops don't want to deal with this shit. They're like, bro, you're drunk. We don't want to go do the paperwork. Like, we have real shit we got to deal with.
Yeah, facts.
And so he finally did leave when the cops told him to go home. But it's like we were talking about. That guy never raised his arms.
Yeah.
His arms were always down, so he was never a threat.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's why I was like, bro, like,
dude just wanted to punch him.
Yeah, he just wanted to punch him, which is fine. Some people need to get punched.
That's true, and some people need a punch.
Yeah,
like, they just gotta get it off their chest.
So they got it out of their system.
Thankfully, everybody's alive. You know.
Well, I haven't heard from that guy in a while, so true. Who knows? He's probably just at home recovering. Man, his face was pretty jacked after that night.
Yeah,
but I mean, yeah, what's so funny about who I am now is I don't even get an adrenaline rush from that anymore. Like,
it's just,
yeah. I mean, you saw the video. So in the video,
you just literally like he got knocked out, and you're like,
I was like, damn,
all right, whatever.
Yeah, like
I tried, bro.
Yeah, like I need to start doing some kind of extreme sports or something because I need like that adrenaline anymore. I just can't. I don't get it anymore. I don't know what it is.
How often do you work out?
Every day.
Well, then, yeah, you're burning.
You think that's what it is?
Yeah, dude. You're you know, I listen to the Unspoken podcast that everyone listens to, but no one likes to admit that they listen to.
Mm-hmm.
And he always talks about if your workout's the hardest part of your day, then everything else is easy.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, that's kind of, I've been pushing myself more with my workouts, and I'm usually a very even person. I don't really, like, you can ask my partner. We've been together for 10 years. I don't argue. I don't yell. I will argue, but I won't yell. I'm not the type, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You know, I'm very okay with being wrong. I think that's why I'm so intelligent and know so many things, because I don't just assume that I know everything. I'm just like, all right, cool. I might debate and be wrong. And then, like, if I debate someone who's very intelligent and they can explain to me and enlighten me, then I'll just be like, yeah, I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not very argumentative in the first place or like that anymore. But I definitely think that working out hard and making that harder than like your interaction with the person at the restaurant that's being an asshole, like, you know, and then you also start to see like, oh, damn, like the way you just saw that fight, like you were like, oh, I guess they both needed to get something out. Like, that's what it is. Like, we hold things inside, and then alcohol for sure will lower those inhibitions, and you'll just be out maybe fucking up and being in front of Red Stop, being an asshole and getting your ass knocked out. You know what I'm saying?
No, I felt sorry for that guy after it was over, but like you said, it might have taught him a lesson. Yeah,
I hope so. I think I would assume that if you're at that point, that lesson has been ringing in your head for a long time. So it's more about, sir, wake the fuck up.
That's me kind of with the world right now too.
Yeah, the world's almost like like the way the world is going right now. It's like an addict with heroin or alcohol. It's like, why do we keep going back to colonial capitalistic measures? Like, what the fuck, y'all? We can still live in a, like, I think a lot of people are scared about the conveniences that we have and those going away. Well, a nuclear war will they'll all go away.
They're gone.
You know? So that's inevitable in the sense of like, if you want destruction or not. But, you know, people I think are very scared of change. Obviously, like, change is a scary thing. It's hard. It's one of the hardest things. It's the most consistent thing that we have in our life, and the hardest thing that we have in our life, I believe, is change. And we're going through a change right now. So this shit's scary. It's scary for the people who are at top. That's why they're doing this dumb shit and bombing people and killing innocent people and fighting for stolen land and all this dumb shit that it's like, bro, it's 2023. We all have phones. And I have the blessing of teaching with a nonprofit called UpBeat Academy. I'd like to shout them out. Teaching the youth has humbled me so much, because I'm like, yo, These kids are light years ahead of us.
Mm-hmm.
There's at the age of 15, the emotional intelligence, the cognitive ability, with the proper education, the understanding of logic and the way to properly argue and the way to think about things and infer. These kids are fucking smart, bro. And it's like they're looking at like all this shit that's going on with anyone who's like 40 and up. They're looking at that shit like, can y'all just get the fuck out the way? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sit down. I feel so bad for Joe Biden, dog. Like, I don't like him. I don't think he's a great politician in any form. He's done some good things. He's done some very horrible things. But I feel sorry for him. This man is like dying.
He didn't want to be there.
And he's got to be the fucking president. Could you imagine being, how old is he? 81 or some shit?
He does not want to be there. Yeah, 81, I think. Yeah.
Dude, and he's got to be the fucking president of the United States. If you can't like see that that's a metaphor to what's going on with America right now.
We're dying. Yeah.
America's not dying. America's a young country, dog. America ain't going nowhere.
It's old, technically.
In a way.
The empires live,
colonialism is
years.
old for sure. Oh,
we're at 247 right now. No, it's a fact. Yeah, that's a fact. You can look back through history. Empires typically last 250 years. We're at 247.
When would you argue that America became an empire, though?
I don't know. That's just
it wasn't from the jump. You know, America from the jump. I mean, we've been.
Well, according to this stat, 247 years ago is when, and this is not me that said this. I'm not smart enough to know these things, but this is something that I read. That 247 years ago is when they say that's when that date started.
Cool.
And at 250 is whenever empires typically not crumble, but the power switches up.
It has to change. Yeah, we are definitely in a changing of powers. I mean. They fucked up when they released these to us. The government could have kept this shit on lock and no one would know a fucking thing and they would be walking around with their fucking space phones.
Yeah. I'm glad. I hate these, but I'm also glad that I have it.
Yeah.
I hate it because I'm on call all the time.
Yeah,
like anytime someone wants me, they can get a hold of me. And I feel like I need to be there for them too.
Damn. I never really thought of it that way. And that's part of the anxiety for sure.
But I do love the fact that I have access to all the information that I ever wanted to know.
Yeah.
That you and I can talk about something and we can verify it right now.
Yeah, we don't have to just drunkenly argue and be like, no, there's no way. Yeah. And George Washington was the first president.
Well, especially now that I have shit like ChatGPT on my phone.
Dude, love it.
Yeah, like I don't even have to ask Google anymore and dig through the shit. I can just go, yo, AI, what is this?
Yes, or like I recently have been like using ChatGPT instead of Google searches. Like,
yeah, me too.
Because it kind of filters the information better. And I'm not a good Googler. Like Googling takes good word SEO.
Yeah.
I'm from New Orleans, so I talk a certain way and I just be asking Google in that way. Yeah. And Google's like, nah, don't get it. But ChatGPT, I can speak in my own language and ChatGPT would give me a better search result. Like
it understands. It's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. I think AI is amazing. I'm very interested in, I don't know where it's going to go. I do believe that it's a tool though. I think it's right now. It's a tool.
Yes.
I think it has the capabilities of becoming something more than a tool that we, the guy who was Alexander Graham Bell who made the telephone, he was not, there's no way he would have thought about an iPhone, right? So it's like AI is the same thing. Like we got a rotary phone right now and it's dope. We can call our friends from across the country. Yeah. This is really awesome. What is it going to grow into? That's the interesting thing. I think humanity is very good at, like, one of the things that makes us humans and Homo sapiens is our making of tools and the ability to manipulate the environment around us. So I think we will use AI more as a tool. And, humans are smart and we're going to have very, very smart humans in the next 50 years, that are just coming up. Like, I can't wait till like our generation, like I forget the names of the generations, but the ones who are like in their mid to late 40s, early 50s, they had a really rocking time. 90s were cool as shit for them, blase blah. I don't know if I trust them to run the country, I think my generation of people I think, what am I, millennial maybe?
Oh, I don't know the names.
I was born in 90. So like, I think people who were born in like 85 to 95 or so, I think we're very fit to like run shit because we remember a time before technology,
Yeah.
and we came up with technology. So we can tell the kids, hey, this shit hasn't been around forever. Let me tell you what it was like before. And let's keep our human moral guide compass in that and the lead. And let's use this to make the world a better place.
Are they listening to that though? Because I feel what you're saying. And this is my fear with the kids that are being raised with technology right now is that they don't have that foundation. Like we have that foundation from knowing what it was like to just have to interact with a human. Mm-hmm. You know, there's being on the internet. It's a different fucking world.
It is. It's a different interaction. And I think what my generation is learning and will do in the future is we're not gonna assume that we know everything. Like I think proper delegation is the way to any successful team, right? Yeah. And we're in a country together. So we're on a team together, you know? So proper delegation meaning like, yo, we're gonna, if I'm the president when I'm 55 years old, I'm not gonna act like I know what to do with this shit. I'm like, who knows? Like, you know, okay, not
bring in a young person.
Not every kid is getting the best upbringing, but that's always a thing. There's always going to be people not getting the best upbringing, and there's always going to be people that are getting fantastic upbringings. So there's some people out there right now that are 12 to 15 years old that are being raised morally and responsibly and are very smart and are understanding the power that technology and social media and all these things have. And when that person is 40, they're going to be very capable of doing the right thing. I think with the age of Aquarius and the changing, I didn't dive into it enough, so I'm not going to speak about it too much. But like, I know hard Bible believers believe that there was like the reign of Satan is the times that we were living in, right? And the switching into the age of Aquarius is the changing of that to where now Satan doesn't run the world anymore and he's losing his power, and we're moving into an age of peace and understanding and growth and real growth. Like, motherfucker, you trying to go to Mars? Back the fuck up and let the kids who are 10 years old right now, they gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
Just chill. Like what upsets me the most about the world today, and Joe Biden is a great metaphor to it, is like these old people, like they just want to rest and die. Like, and when you get old, that should be what you want to do. You should want to just relax, do whatever makes you happy, and then go peacefully. And they're not really allowed to do that because of the way the world is right now. And because they're dumb, they think they need to run shit still. And it's like, yo, back up.
That's what I was going to say. It's them having the power grab though, right? Like,
yes.
He wants to still be the president.
He does. There's a part of him that definitely wants to have that power. And it's sick. It's sick to see an old man still be that way. You know?
Dude.
By all means, he has control over his life. He could have been like, no, bitch, I'm not being the president.
Does he though? This is my thing with people like that now. It's like, I think there's someone else controlling, like pulling the strings.
Definitely. I would say 100% that there is other people pulling the strings. And I would say that's arguably going to be their downfall. To cycle back to what I was saying about them not knowing when they released technology to us that they were going to lose their power. Everything is we live in a dualistic reality. The yin and yang symbol perfectly expresses the reality that we live in, right? And within the yang, there's a little yin. And within the yin, there's a little yang. So it's balance and harmony and everything. Our bodies are homeostatic, to bring it back to the nursing, right? Everything about our existence in this world is about balance. This table is not standing unless it's balanced, right? You're not hearing my voice through this microphone unless it's balanced, right? Everything has, that's why you have an XLR with 3 wires, right? With 3 prongs. You have the positive, the negative, and the neutral. Everything is about balance. So and I've learned this in my own life, and I'm sure a lot of other people have too. When you try to do something, sometimes you don't get the results that you intended, right? And a lot of the times, especially like for me, like another reason why I shifted from negative to positive was I realized that anything that I did out of anger or malicious intent always backfired on me. Like when Daffy Duck tries to shoot Bugs Bunny, but the gun shoots him, or Elmer Fudd, right? They try to shoot Bugs Bunny, but the gun actually shoots them. It's like that, right? So I think that's what happened with COVID. I think COVID was either irresponsibly leaked or intentionally leaked. You know, one or the other. But long story short, it came from us. We created that shit. Which is also why it wasn't as deadly, because I think, I'm not going to go into that. But anyways, COVID was a way, I think, was a power grab for these people. And they were like, shut up, sit the fuck inside your house. We're going to send you $2,000 while we figure this fucking shit out, because we are losing control. How the fuck did Donald Trump become president? We didn't see this in a million years. They were caught off guard. So they fucking hit us with a haymaker. They fucking killed a ton of people, and they locked us the fuck down so that they could figure out where to go forward. And the thing is bro, they slow, they dumb. They don't have the time to figure it out, because they locked us in with this.
Yeah.
You fucking kidding me? They thought they were going to lock us down and we were just going to shut the fuck up and not listen. And what happened was we all started talking to each other more and start like truthers, people who really genuinely just want to promote the fucking truth, started having platforms to TikTok and shit like that. And where it's like, yo, you can get, they thought they were going to control us more, and all it did was make them control us less, right? And so they got unintended consequences from that, and they know it now. It's 3 years since they did it. They know for a fact that they fucked up. And that's why they keep hinting another pandemic. And then what they were teasing the line, right? And nobody was biting. So now they're like, fuck Israel. Let's do it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Now,
like they're at that fucking point where they're so fucking desperate for power that they are just like, we're going to do this. And dude, people are awake, bro. I see more people on the internet and in today's world that are just like, yo, this is crazy. This is bullshit. And I'm not very well versed in the whole situation. I do know a little bit of the back history of the countries involved. But what I see in my mind's eye is like, this is just another power grab. Mm-hmm. And the funny thing is, when you stay out of the media and you stay out of their propaganda wheel, you don't feel this shit. And it's harsh to say, because it's like, yo, innocent people are dying across the world. But like, I'm looking at Ferret, and there's like a lovely person walking down the street about to go get a hot dog at that dog or something. And not to say you should dismiss other people's suffering, but you know, the news, again, with the propaganda and trying to fucking keep us in control, all they're doing is showing us how evil they are. Mm-hmm. And so the people that are paying attention to that news cycle are like, yo, fuck this shit. And even they did have an issue over at Tulane with the, you know, Israeli sympathizers and Palestinians. They came in, they had a clash. I don't know if you saw that. It was
I didn't see
pretty
it.
wild.
But that's only because of the propaganda though, right?
Yes, of course. Because anyone who, I know a lot of good Jewish people. Anyone who's a good Jewish person that, you know, they have their beliefs about land and promised land and chosen beliefs. Like, they have their beliefs. But if you're a good fucking human being, all that goes to the side and you're like, yo, innocent people are dying. This is fucked up. We shouldn't keep doing this. This is colonialism. Like, oh my God, colonialism is the new N-word. Like, if you're a colonizer, that's the new N-word, bro. That's like, you get, or any type of derogatory, you get called a colonizer, then that's like, yo, like, give it 10 years. Those motherfuckers are going to be looked at like KKK people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're like, say, bro, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, wake up, you know? Like, we in 2023. Some of us are living in the future. Some of us are living in the past. Yeah. And then most of us are living right the fuck now. So if you're living right now, you're like, whoa, what the fuck? If you're living in the future, you're like, man, we're going to figure this shit out. These people crazy. If you're living in the past, you're like, oh, we need to hold on. The old way is dying. And it's like, bruh, give it up. It's done. You don't matter how powerful of a human being you are. This is more powerful. You know what I'm saying? This world, this energy, this universe, this life, whatever energy force it is that makes this happen is infinitely more powerful than a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? So these people, they got a rude awakening coming. And a part of me feels sorry for them because the way they loved and lived their life is ending. And then another part of me is proud because it's like, yo, the rest of the world deserves to live good too. You know, every human being on this earth deserves all the basic necessities and deserves to do something they love to do, period. And I think another thing is people think like, oh, if you just let people do what they want to do, nobody's going to do anything. That's not true. There's going to be motherfuckers who love building tables that are going to keep building tables. Mm-hmm. There's going to be people who love running bars that are going to keep running bars. There's going to be people who love making beer that are going to keep making beer. There's going to be people who love driving a bus and getting people to work that are going to keep doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we all had the opportunity to do something we love, because the things that we love can be broken down into minute, like, bullet points, right? Let's say 5. You love helping people. You love, being the center of attention. You love serving people. You love seeing people smile. You love accomplishing something. You love building something. Like, we all have these little things that will iota out into building a society anyway. It's how we've done it. I mean, who knows how many times, but it's definitely how we've done it this time, as far as we know, if we coming from, and that's another thing too, bro. Yeah. Fucking history. History is interesting
because it's written by the winners, right? Yeah. What time you got to go?
We got to cut
DJ
this at
gig,
2.
Don't you?
Yeah. I gotta. I'm DJing downtown.
Well,
we gotta cut at 2.
I've really enjoyed the conversation today. Mm-hmm. We must do this again very soon. Just go ahead and tell the people where to find you at.
Oh, okay. You can find me at another bar on Ferret. No, on the internet, ET DEAUX, as ET space DEAUX. If you spell it OE, you spelled it wrong. And I guess I'll end off with that too. The origin of my artist name. So my birth name is Evan Thibodeaux, and my favorite artist is MF Doom. And going through my artistic career, especially as a musician, it's very important to have a good name, especially with Google, to have a good searchable name. Mm-hmm. So I started off as Easy Flow. This was Easy Flow was my first name. Is you got to make sure you can search this name, whatever. And then I grew into, I thought Easy Flow was like something I came up when I was 13. It's just because I flow like a river. It's corny. So I was like, change that name. And then especially because G-Eazy became popular and other Easies. And I was just like, nah. So I changed it to E.T. because I was like, I do want my art to reflect me. Mm-hmm. And I want people to know that you're not getting a facade. When you consume my art, you're not getting an act that I'm creating. You're not getting, a lot of people like to say, oh, you look like Action Bronson. Or, no, I'm not. But I'm not Action Bronson because I'm not creating a character. Yeah. I'm giving you me.
You're authentic.
I'm very authentic with my art. So E.T. was what I was going under for a while. And then I just realized that my first album I put under E.T., it went into a Spotify E.T. artist page that had 20 different E.T. people. You know what I'm saying? It's just crowded. So I was like, man, I don't even know how it came to me, but one day I was just like, ET DEAUX. I'm like, because I love MF Doom. And so I was like, you know what, let me start emulating some of my favorite people. And I was like, MF Doom, ET DEAUX. It has a rhyme, right? It has a rhythm to it, I should say. And I also spell it all caps, ET DEAUX, DEAUX, all caps. But the internet still tries to not do that. But anyways, so I was like, yo, ET DEAUX. I came up with that name. And then it's just a shortening of my birth name. Yeah. So it's Evan Thibodeaux, ET DEAUX. So it still has me in it, right?
But it's also dope.
It is. Thank you. Yeah. And then DEAUX is recognizable because it shows where I'm from regionally, mm-hmm. right? And then also you might get it wrong the first time, but people rarely get it wrong the second time. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So if I'm like ET DEAUX and I'm like DOE, and then I'm like, no, mm-hmm. DEAUX. And then they're like, oh shit. Now they might mess it up and spell it do because two in French is de, DEUX. And fascinatingly, I've been studying a lot of French. I spoke Creole to my grandfather growing up, so I have French in me a lot of French. And I realized studying French again that ET DEAUX really means and of waters, plural. That's literally what ET DEAUX translates to in French. So I'm like, damn, French people gonna think I'm cool as fuck. You know what I'm saying? They were like, man, this dude's fucking rapper name is And of Waters. Like, yo, this dude's probably dope.
That is pretty dope.
Fuck, you know? So it was interesting how easy flow. I named myself Flow because I would flow like a river in my raps. And then now ET DEAUX to where this is where I'm solidified. The only other artist name, I'll have some artists, you know, side projects that I do that are like anonymous and just me playing around. But if I ever change my name again, it's just going straight to Evan Thibodeaux. Like, and when I perform with live bands and I'm in front of when I play at Tipitina's, it's not ET DEAUX. Or when I play at Tipitina's with the band that I play with, it's Evan Thibodeaux. It's not ET DEAUX. So yeah, it's been an evolution. So you can find me anywhere on the internet, ET space DEAUX. Yeah, and my favorite thing to drink at the bar is a shot of Fernet and a Paradise Park. Shout out to Urban South. I don't know if we can talk about branding on here.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? They're cool people.
Yeah, they're cool people. We sell their beer.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, ET, thank you for coming on today, brother. Like I said, I enjoyed the conversation. I look forward to the next one.
Yeah, thank you. It wasn't much of a conversation. It was more of me ranting, but
that's okay. I was here for it.
I thank you for your time.
Yeah.
I thank you for this platform. I love your setup. I think this setup is beautiful. And I look forward to seeing this grow. I would love to send some more people your way too. So.
Hell yeah, let's do it. Send them my way.
Fuck
Down
yeah,
with it.
Man. Thank you. Peace, everybody. Love you.